Live from Queens, New York, Sports Channel America presents high school basketball. This afternoon, the two best teams in New York City go head-to-head. The Stanners of Archbishop Molloy take on the Royals of Christ the King. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Breen along with Barry Kramer. Once again, Sports Channel bringing you big-time high school basketball. Barry, not only today do we have a matchup of two of the finest teams, we've got matchups of some of the finest individual talent in the country. It all starts with Kenny Anderson. Kenny Anderson, the senior guard from Molloy, perhaps the most acclaimed and highly publicized high school basketball player of all time. Tough to live up to that billing, but Anderson has.
Very tough, Mike, but deservedly so. He has the billing. This is a boy who is now the leading scorer in the state of New York, as well as the leading scorer in the history of New York City. He can do it all. He was a great penetrator in the past, a kid who could dart to the hoop. Now he's improved his rebounding statistics, his three-point shooting statistics, and he's on his way to Georgia Tech next year.
Now, Anderson, in addition to the basketball ability, he's had to handle an awful lot of pressure. Being, proclaimed the top player in the country is not an easy task. He's been having to do this for a couple of years, and he's been able to come through that way, too.
It's very difficult, Mike. Having been myself a parade All-America in 1960, I believe this boy is probably getting phone calls day in and day out, hundreds of schools recruiting him. Very difficult for a young man to keep things in the proper perspective and then continue on with his academics and finish his high school career properly.
All right, now Molloy rated 13th in the nation. Christ the King, meanwhile, 3rd in the nation, according to USA Today. They might have the most talent on any team in the country. They've got 5 terrific players, 5 scorers who can all score in terms of the starters. The main man, a junior guard, Khalid Reeves.
Yeah, this is very interesting because it may be the best junior player in the country against the best senior player in the country. Reeves has come on very, very strong this year. In a way, perhaps overshadowed his teammate, Jamal Faulkner. He's a kid with tremendous confidence. He wants to play the best player on the other team. He wants to play Kenny Anderson.
Now, you show you how good that Khalid Reeves is they've got a senior All-American who's going to Pitt next year in Jamal Faulkner. Faulkner's kind of had to take a back seat, but he's done that well. Overall, Faulkner's talent is unbelievable.
Well, Faulkner is a previous parade All-America 3rd team. Faulkner's the kid who may be the key in this game because I don't know if Molloy has the firepower up front to stop Faulkner, and Faulkner's on his way to Pitt, a true All-American.
Now, one of the keys for Christ the King, Baba Oliva's team, doing a terrific job this year. One of their main attributes, I could say, or one of their main strengths, the fact that all of these guys have the ability to put in the three-pointer.
I've never seen a team that could shoot the three-pointer, all 5 players. This is going to be very interesting. They come down in the break. They may come down 1-on-2, and the guy coming down will throw it up from 3-point range. They're a fascinating team. They want to run with the ball, and their statistics are about 46-47% from the three-point line as a team.
And they're the type of team that will pull up on a fast break and take a three-pointer. Of course, the coach is an integral part of what's happening with these two schools, Molloy and Christ the King. And to take a look at those coaches, Sports Channel's Carl Reuter.
Courtside with the coaches, Bob Oliva of Christ the King to my left. We will talk with Molloy's Jack Curran first. And Jack, you guys lost to them last time on your home court, 99-84. You've been a little banged up now. How do you come in and prepare for this one?
Well, I don't think we're banged up. We're healthy right now. We just had one sprained ankle about a week ago, and that's better right now.
All right, Kenny Anderson, obviously everybody here to see him. He showcases his talents. Is he enough? Are the guys around him, you're going to have to get some support from the middle?
We tried to get a hold of Charles Oakley, but Patino wouldn't send him over today.
And I don't think Oliva would let you have him on the court.
I don't think so. He might say something.
Expect a high-scoring running game?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. You never know with high school kids.
All right, best of luck in this one, Jack.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let me turn around here, Bob. From what you've told me, Derek Phelps is your best defensive player. But you're going to look and start the big guy there, Khalid Reeves, in the backcourt against Anderson. Why?
Well, Khalid's also a very good defensive player, and he drew the assignment last time. I thought he did a really good job with it, but Derek will be ready. He'll be on deck for pinch hitting duties.
This is a league game. This is big time now.
It sure is, and we realize how big it is. We're ready.
You're ready. And they're not going to forget that last game, are they?
Well, our guys know, and they know what happened last time, but they also know this is a new game and another day, and anything can happen. I mean, we are at home, but I don't know if that's such a big benefit as people might think it is.
All right, Bob, best of luck in this big ball game.
Thanks a lot.
All right, you heard it from Bob Oliva and Jack Curran. It will be a dandy. Now stay tuned. Mike Breen and Barry Kramer will be back with all the play-by-play action right after this timeout. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
Man's ultimate adventure, to journey through the universe, to step off the Earth for the very first time. The Eastern Press is proud to present America's Achievements in Space, the first of its kind videocassette library of official NASA films, capturing the most dramatic moments in our quest to explore the universe. Relive the excitement of America's conquest of space, the drama and triumph of every major mission recorded for history and for you by NASA. The collection, 10 90-minute cassettes in all, is sure to become a family heirloom. There's John Glenn's Lost 4 Minutes in Space, and America's first spacewalk.
Okay, I'm out. Okay, now.
And who will forget America's proudest moment?
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now you and your children have the opportunity to own this piece of history, a beautiful and comprehensive collection of the official films recorded by NASA and the astronauts themselves. Each cassette comes with a mission summary describing the astronauts, the spacecraft, and the mission objectives, all enclosed in an attractive library case. These cassettes are not available in stores. To order your collection, simply call 1-800-446-1445. You pay for just one cassette a month, only $29.95. Use your credit card to save COD charges. Relive with your family 25 years of achievement. Events so important, former astronaut James Lovell introduces each cassette, and special guests such as Orson Welles, E.G. Marshall, and Carl Sagan guide you through the missions as they unfold. Subscribe now, and you'll also receive free these 4 full-color prints. Your satisfaction is guaranteed by the Eastern Press. Be an eyewitness to the greatest American adventure of all time. Call 1-800-446-1445.
Christ the King ranked 3rd in the nation, 17-1 versus Archbishop Molloy, ranked 13th in the nation. Those rankings according to USA Today. They are 16-2. Let's get our starting lineups handed over to public address announcer Savino Fazzolari.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Christ the King High School in Middle Village, New York, where this afternoon the CHSAA game features the 16-2 Stanners of Archbishop Molloy and the 18-1 #1 New York State Christ the King Royals. Here are the starting lineups for the Stanners of Archbishop Molloy. Back forward is 6'3" senior, number 30, Ken Grislachik. At the other forward position, a 5'11" senior, number 22, John McLean. At center, a 6'8" senior, number 52, Tom Casey. And at the guard, a 5'8" senior, number 14, Sean O'Brien. At the other guard position is 6'2" senior, number 12, Kenny Anderson. The head coach of the Stanners, Jack Curran. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Christ the King Royals. At forward, a 6'2" senior, number 23, Robert Burnside. At the other forward position is 6'5" senior, number 21, Carl Beckett. At center, a 6'7" senior, number 35, Jamal Faulkner. And at the guard, a 6'3" junior, number 5, Derek Phelps. At the other guard position is 6'3" junior, number 4, Colin Reed. The head coach, Mr. Bob Oliva. The officials, the referee is Rich Gargan, the umpire Frank Ragona.
You saw the players introduced. You know, Barry, it's funny. You look at Kenny Anderson physically, and for a lot of people around the country, this is the first time there are officials tonight, Rich Goggin and Frank Ragona, this afternoon, that is. You look at Anderson's stature, everyone finally getting a chance to see him around the country, perhaps for the first time. He's not physically imposing. In fact, he needs to build himself up, and people just looking at him say, wait a minute, this is Kenny Anderson? But then they see him on the court.
Well, I don't really know, Mike, if he has to build himself up. I think he's probably deceptively strong. I see a lot of power in the way he elevates. And a lot of times this muscle tone is not that important. I think he's a very strong kid.
All right, jumping, Carl Beckett, senior forward against Tom Casey, senior center. See some of the matchups get set to play. Number 3 versus number 13, the two best teams in New York City. Molloy controls, and that is Mr. Anderson. Number 12, the senior guard, the one we'll keep a very close eye on throughout the afternoon. And Derek Phelps will start off defending him. Christ the King looks like they've opened up in the zone.
Yes, they have.
Faulkner, good defensive effort. As he gets a hold of it, but can't hold on. Molloy takes under control underneath their own hoop.
Well, it'll be an advantage for Kenny if they don't have some kind of a maverick defense on him and they just play a straight-up zone.
Phelps with the steal, quick hands, but throws it away, and Molloy will take hold. The Christ the King defense will always look to deny the ball, always look for those steals. You see, it looks like a 1-3-1 from the Royals. The early going, that's John McClain. Phelps another steal. That's Reeves. Khalid Reeves. Barry, this is the problem they had in the first game. They turned the ball over a lot. 99-84. Christ the King defeated Molloy back in December.
Right, but that was due to a lot of full court pressure, Mike, and tonight it's half court pressure.
Reeves with the steal ahead to Phelps. And Jack Curran looked like he wanted a timeout, and Anderson looked over to him and said, all right, coach, we'll be all right. We'll settle down. 4-0. Christ the King, the early lead. Brzlacek. That's Tom Casey. Strong move, blocked by Faulkner.
So far, Molloy has not been able to get the ball into Kenny Anderson's hands, and it's not a good sign for Molloy because the other role players have to play well.
With Bob Oliva's zone defense working well early on, Anderson calls a timeout before the 5 seconds. Some problems immediately for the Stanners. We've only played about 1 minute and 9 seconds, 4-0 lead. Molloy really having trouble getting into their offense.
Well, what they're doing here is they're playing a trapping 1-3-1 zone, and whenever the ball is given up by Kenny Anderson and goes into the hands of his teammates, they're trapping with 2 and 3 players.
As soon as Kenny throws it to you, bounce it right back to him. Bounce it. But as soon as you get it, you follow me? Yeah. And you two stay out higher. You're in too deep. Stay higher on the wing. Higher in the corner. Come up behind those 2 back guys. When you get the ball there, look for the diagonal pass. You hear? The pass underneath is going to get blocked. The pass underneath is going to get blocked. The shot is going to get blocked if you get to him right away. You hear me?
I'll play the wings. The big top.
All right.
Take the top.
Jack Curran always calm. In his 31st year, I guess when you're doing it so long, you don't get too excited. But you see Kenny Anderson also there putting his input in the huddle.
Yeah, Jack's got a real good temperament for these kids, and they've got to stay calm at this point.
Sean O'Brien to Brzlacek. Brzlacek likes to put up the jumper. There's Anderson. First shot of the game. Reeves with the rebound. Anderson with the steal, but Reeves holds on. Khalid Reeves moves to the hoop, blocked by Casey. Casey gets the own rebound. Brzlacek almost loses it, but holds on.
Great play by Casey. It's very important that Casey assert himself because the only big player that Molloy has.
He's got to have a big game, especially defending in the middle.
That's right.
McClain.
He's got the lean on Faulkner. That's the way to hurt him. Lean on him and make it tougher for him.
That's that diagonal pass that Curran was talking about. Casey puts it in.
He's kind of a paradox, Casey. Sometimes he plays well and sometimes not so well. They'll need a good one from him tonight.
4-2 Christ the King leads. Carl Beckett slices to the hoop. His own tap, no good. Rebound. Khalid Reeves on the offensive boards and draws the foul. Fouls against Casey.
See Beckett going right to the hoop here. And Khalid picking up the rebound. He's a kid who does everything. He tries to go to the offensive board just like Anderson does for Molloy.
Both Reeves and Anderson, both very good offensive rebounders. Reeves gets his 3rd point, and it's 5-2 Christ the King leads. Here's that full court pressure. John McClain for Casey, comes up to help but loses it. Beckett pulls up. Carl Beckett will be playing for St. John's next year with the 2 points, 7-2. The big man Barry's got to help out on this press.
Yeah, this is a key possession here. Well,
2-on-1. Brzlacek blocked by Faulkner, and Faulkner holds on. Phelps to Reeves.
Mike, they're overmatched. They're overmatched physically, and therefore, even though the pressure makes them get the ball up the court quickly, they've got to hold up and get into their set offense.
Almost too much dribbling.
The action.
Sean O'Brien loses it. Chris Latchik. And we've got a foul against Derek Phelps. Molloy finally breaks the pressure. What they've got to do, Barry, is they've got to score off this press. If they bring it down and hold it up, that's what Christ the King wants. They need to attack the press and score off it.
It's true, but they're not able to go over the top because if you notice, Christ the King's got a man back at all times.
That's Casey. Anderson slices.
He's pressing a bit.
Outlet pass by Beckett is too long. 9-2. We've only played about 3 minutes. Christ the King in complete control.
Well, interestingly enough, Anderson has missed 2 shots that he would normally make with ease. Easy shots because he's trying a little too hard. Got to let the game come to him a little bit.
Diagonal to Anderson. 3-pointer. Anderson shooting 58% from 3-point range.
That's incredible. That's the facet of his game that's really improved.
Burnside ahead to Carl Beckett. Beckett, nice move to the hoop. Can't put it in. His own rebound. And we've got a foul. Another foul against Tom Casey. That's his second.
This kid Beckett is an aggressive player. You see how he takes it baseline and really takes to the hole. This is the second time he's done this. Missing the shot. But the aggressiveness is what really counts.
Phelps misses it on the live action. McClain O'Brien. Partially blocked. Jack Curran wanted a foul. 9-5, 4.5 to play, first quarter. Christ the King with the 4-point lead. That's Carl Beckett, 3-pointer. Every single starter is a fine 3-point shooter on this Christ the King team. You really have to extend the defense.
Beckett is so muscular, you wouldn't anticipate he's such a great shooter.
Anderson pulls up. He shoots so well off the dribble.
He does, and he knows where the seams are in that zone. He knows how to get to that spot where he can release it.
Casey gets the rebound, and Reeves staying with it. Loose ball, Faulkner. Casey rebounds.
The referees are letting a little go in this game.
They certainly are thus far. Anderson loses control. Christ the King's ball.
He can only smile at that one, Mike. A little unusual.
12-7. The Royals in possession with the 5-point lead. Just over 3.5 to play, first quarter. Christ the King ranked 3rd in the nation. Phelps dishes to Faulkner. Faulkner has it partially knocked away, and we'll have a foul on the floor before the shot. Chris Latchik called for the foul.
At this point, Khalid is playing more of a wing. He's not looking to handle the ball. They're looking to get it to him so he can score. He's playing that right side.
Faulkner on the inbounds. Sean O'Brien almost knocks it, but Faulkner's hand pulls on. Reeves pulls up, banks it in. 7 points for Khalid Reeves. 14-7, Christ the King leads. Now they're in the man-to-man. Reeves on Anderson. Latchik.
It's very unusual that you would play your high scorer on the other team's high scorer because foul trouble is so important in these games. But Reeves is up to the challenge.
All 5 starters for Molloy are seniors. O'Brien, nice feed to Latchik. Ken Latchik makes it a 14-9 game.
Latchik is an experienced kid. All the Molloy kids are experienced. It's just that physically they're a little overmatched.
Beckett, free. Long. Good boxing out from John McClain.
Great box out by McClain.
McClain really the other guy besides Anderson that's not intimidated, not afraid. Played a lot on last year's fine team. Tough kid.
That's right. McClain and O'Brien, if they can hit a couple long shots, they'll open things up for Anderson, but he doesn't seem to need it at this point.
Another 3-pointer for Anderson. He's got 8. 14-12. Christ the King up by 2. Burnside from 3. The Stander's getting a little momentum. Anderson always pushing it up. O'Brien, nice steal by Burnside. Reeves behind to Faulkner.
You see how Jamal ran the court. He followed that play. He's a good running big man at 6'8". But I was going to say earlier that Christ the King's taking a lot of unnecessary three-point shots right now. Burnside shooting some he doesn't have to shoot.
Well, Reeves knew where Faulkner was that entire time. Nice feed. 4-point lead, Christ the King. McLean. 5-second count. Good defense. Christ the King gets the turnover. Such defensive intensity. They deny every pass. They try and make you turn as many times with the dribble. Excellent defense from the Royals. Reeves from 3.
Oh, he can do it inside and outside.
He's got 10. Reeves averages 26 points a game, the leading scorer on this team. 19-12, the lead back up to 7 for Christ the King. Casey.
Reeves was the most valuable player in the recent Missouri tournament that Christ the King won. So he showed his wares out in Missouri as well.
Sean O'Brien, little 5'8" senior. That's Anderson. Alters the shot, somehow gets the rebound. Blocked. Blocked by Beckett, but the foul called by Frank Ragona. Anderson, again, we said, Barry, how he's so strong in the offensive glass.
He literally passed it to himself here off the glass, got it back, and put it in. And this is an awesome play against players like Faulkner and Reeves, but in college, it's going to be very difficult to pull off.
Brian Mullen checks in for Sean O'Brien. Looked like a pretty good block there from Carl Beckett. But Frank Ragona, right on the play, made the call immediately.
Well, the All-Americans get the call too, Mike.
Anderson shoots 78% from the free throw line. As we mentioned at the top, play for Bobby Cremins at Georgia Tech. The fast break for Christ the King. Reeves so good off the dribble. And a foul on Faulkner over the top. Casey boxing out.
Good defense there. Made Reeves force that ball up, and Casey made a good rebound.
19-13, 38 seconds to play first quarter. Christ the King leading by 6.
They're throwing it over the top there. Good play.
Mullen almost loses it, but holds on and brings it across the timeline to Anderson. Double teamed, as always. Slices in, can't get it to go in. Beckett always working hard on the boards.
Anderson is relentless, though.
That's Rob Burnside, and a foul on John McLean. 17 seconds to play first quarter. Still a 6-point lead for the third-ranked Royals.
You know, one of the problems for a kid like Anderson, he's playing against 5 great athletes, and I know he wants the challenge of it all, but you can't beat 5 men. When he gets double and triple team, he's got to give it up and have a little confidence in his teammates.
And they'll play for the last shot. Rob Burnside. That's Phelps, junior point guard. Khalid Reeves, the baseline. Good defense from McLean. Takes it away. 2 seconds. Mullen doesn't know how much time. And that'll do it for the first quarter. But an excellent defensive play from John McLean. We played 1 quarter here at Christ the King. And Christ the King leads Molloy 19-13. We pause now for a regional break. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
And we're getting a picture on the TV. You got a good picture, huh? There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. Roger. Yeah, I'm going to step off the limb now. That's 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind.
You're looking great.
Sports Channel explodes in February. Red-hot Pat LaFontaine leads the resurgent Islanders into battle, while John McLean scores big for the Devils. Plus, it's the ultimate contest when Gretzky, Lemieux, Savard, the NHL's best, collide in the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game live. The hardcore heats up as the Nets head into slam dunk NBA play, and local favorites Fordham and Fairfield top a great college lineup. Dynamite hockey and hoops action exclusively for you in February on Sports Channel.
Christ the King doing it defensively in the first quarter off the steal. You see Rob Burnside there with the steal and gets on the fast break.
Yeah, here comes Jamal. Great dunk by Jamal Faulkner. There's a kid who's had to play a little bit less of a role this year because of Khalid coming on so strong. But he's acclimated himself to it very well.
McLean with another defensive steal, but never stopping Christ the King. Reeves, strong move. Khalid Reeves makes it 21-13.
He protected the ball very well because the Molloy players, being smaller, are trying to swipe at the ball every chance they get and get it when it's down low.
8-point lead for Christ the King. Brian Mullen, another senior guard. Again, mostly seniors. Anderson for three. It looks like it was partially blocked. Casey on the outside for the rebound, but Reeves takes it away.
Oh.
And all alone is Carl Beckett. 23-13, largest lead of the game for the Royals.
That kind of a play hurts. Nobody back for Molloy.
The two big guards doing it in the first quarter. Reeves, 12 points. Kenny Anderson with 9. Another steal. Beckett knocks it away. Reeves gains control. Well, hey, as you mentioned, relentless on defense. Just into the game is Bart Pippen. Inside, no good by Beckett. Scramble for the ball. Boy, these kids are going at it.
This is a war underneath.
On the alternate possession, it'll be Molloy's ball. They're down 23-13, opening minute here of the second quarter. Bob Oliva,
They need
what's
a
happening
score
with Farr. And they've got to do again. Score off that break, but right now they take a little bit of the pressure off. McLean from 3. In and out. Casey, though, gets the rebound. Strong move inside.
Very nice move. He took it with his left hand over Faulkner. He had to go left because Faulkner was there.
Tom Casey, the 6'8 senior, who averages 8 points a game, needs to be instrumental in this game.
He really does, but he's off to a good start. It's just errors and balls thrown away that's hurt Molloy so far.
Casey knocks it away. The crowd running a foul. 3-on-2 fast break. Nice fish to Mullen. Mullen underneath. Can't get it to go, but a foul on Phelps.
Well, in that situation, had I been McLean and the point man, I think I would have given it up to Anderson on the right. But they're going to get something out of it, hopefully, anyway.
Usually Anderson makes something out of it, even if there's nothing there. 23-15, 8-point lead for Christ the King. Again, if you're just joining us, Christ the King ranks 3rd in the nation. Molloy ranked 13th. Brian Mullen, a 6'1 senior. Mullen averaging about 2.5 points per game. See another substitution coming into the game for the Royals as Derek Phelps will sit down. Burnside back into the game.
I'm surprised that Curran has taken Casey out of the game at this point.
Got the 2 fouls, so I'm sure he doesn't want him to pick up that third before halftime.
That's probably it.
There's Bart Pippen. Double team. Brings it across. Pippen more of the quicker point guard as opposed to Phelps. An explosive little dribbler. Faulkner has it blocked, but a foul called against Patrick Cosgrove, who checked in for Casey. First foul on Cosgrove. And we'll see Casey come right back in the game.
Right. Well, you know what Bob Oliva has said about Phelps and Pippen as his point guards. Point guards today are playmakers of past years. You got to have a kid who's unselfish out there, and he's got 2 of them, so he's in pretty good shape.
Jamal Faulkner will be playing for Pitt next year in the Big East. Averaging 18 points, 9 rebounds a game, 6'8 senior. He's got tremendous hands for a big guy. Catches the ball very well in the low post, and he's got a soft touch, good 3-point range.
Very soft hands, and probably soft hands are the most important ingredient to a good ball player.
Intercepted by Reeves again. Grislachik called for the foul after throwing it away. Bit of a frustration foul that time as Reeves again steals it off the inbounds.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for Kenny Anderson. He's not inbounding the ball, but he's trying to get to the ball so that he's the one receiving it, and they're not able to get it into his hands.
Second foul on Grislachik as Reeves misses. He's 1 of 3 from the line. Reeves being recruited, or at least been contacted by over 250 schools. He's a junior. Says he wants to play where it doesn't snow.
I don't blame him.
That's one of his stipulations.
He's a smart kid. He's probably going to get 1,200 on the college boards.
13 points in addition to all those steals. It's now 26-16, 10-point lead again for Christ the King. Kenny Anderson, number 12, just recently broke the New York State high school scoring record, has scored more career points than any player in high school basketball history in New York. Burnside loses it out of bounds. Good hustle. Bob Oliva wanting a foul on that. The kid's just playing aggressive, going after the loose balls.
Well, kind of pushed from behind, but referees didn't see it.
You see here, as we go back to live action, another steal, this time Faulkner. McLean threw it away. All alone is Bart Pippen. And Pippen lays it in.
They are relying on getting the rebound and sending somebody every time, and that's got to be stopped.
And Jack Curran wants a timeout. Once again, his team having problems with this defense. 5:27 to play, second quarter. Christ the King leads it 28-16. As we mentioned, first game back in December, final score was 99-84. Christ the King won that game. And the key point, because Molloy had taken a 17-6 lead in the first quarter, the key point were the turnovers. Molloy just could not handle the defensive pressure from Christ the King. They turned the ball over time and time again, and it really turned into a blowout. Same thing happening here. Still not a blowout, but Christ the King capable of it because of those defensive abilities.
Definitely they are.
So you hear Bob Oliva in the huddle.
Offensively, we can run reverse, you know, on the opposite. That's going to work. Okay, we're all right with that. We're doing pretty much what we want to do offensively. We can probably bang it inside a little bit more, too, if we look to do that. If we really want it, it's there. Our hands are working good defensively. We're creating a lot of steals. We're just keeping the tempo in our thing. Put your hands up. Let's go, yo. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, let's go, Jay.
Oliva talking about the tempo. He likes the way the tempo is now. His defensive pressure, again, is forcing the tempo. We keep harping on it, but that's the key to the whole game. There you see Mr. Anderson, as we said, just this past Friday against Holy Cross, became the all-time leading scorer. Beat out guys like Lou Alcindor, remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
See that guy named Barry Kramer?
That's right, I think he beat me too.
Back on his own defense.
Bob Oliva and Jack Curran are such dedicated guys, and they do a great job, and the kids learn more from these guys than they do from any coaches in their entire careers. I thought it was interesting that Bob Oliva said, just keep those quick hands working, because that's what they're doing.
And more quick hands that time from Phelps. Pippen on the outlet. Good control as McLean tried to knock it away. 4 points for Pippen. It's now a 14-point lead.
What's hard to understand, Mike, is that Molloy's got a lot of small, quick guys in the game, and yet I don't know where they are, whether they're going the offensive board or not. Nobody's back.
What's impressive about Christ the King is they're so active with their hands, and all the passes, even the diagonal passes, a lot of them being tipped because they work so hard. Anderson loses control inside. There's Casey. Diagonal for McLean. That's the pass Jack Curran wanted. The diagonal pass to try and help alleviate this 1-3-1. 30-16, 14-point lead for Christ the King. Pass inside for Casey. Has it blocked. And Pippen has it.
The shots are there because the zone is really leading toward Anderson's side, but they're not able to convert.
The pass inside is missed by Sherwin Content, and Anderson comes out with it. The 1-on-3. Kenny will slow it down, bring it back up top. Anderson with 9 points thus far. But Phelps is really aggressive on that wing on defense. Mullen to the hoop, partially blocked, can't get it to go, and it goes off Burnside.
When the ball goes to the wing, the cutter is wide open down the middle, but the Christ the King is so big that they're not able to put it over him.
Just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. You notice a hesitation a lot of the Molloy players to shoot as Grislacic finally pulls up. Yeah. It's long. Faulkner with a strong rebound who's got a foul against Mullen. They really seem hesitant, with the exception of Anderson and McLean. They seem hesitant to shoot with all this defensive pressure.
They really are. They're probably remembering the last game.
So Jack Curran there, as we mentioned, in his 31st year. So Jack Curran last year was the National High School Coach of the Year for baseball.
Yeah, I understand he's won 1,500 games combining basketball and baseball in his high school career. That's unbelievable.
Over 900 in baseball, 586 in basketball. If Faulkner hits the first one, Faulkner, good free throw shooter. He's now 3 of 3 from the line. Total of 5 points. He's taken a bit of a less scoring role, as we mentioned earlier, because of Reeves' play. Phelps on the offensive rebound. They're just dominating this game at all ends. Mullen almost gets called for a travel error. It's knocked away once again. Another turnover. Khalid Reeves. Inside to Faulkner. We'll have the call against Kenny Anderson, who seems a little bit frustrated because he's had to really do it all.
It's very frustrating for Anderson.
33-16.
There's a bad pass, threw it behind him. He was open. And now going the other way. Foul is committed by Anderson. Really a frustration foul.
Reeves calmly sinks it. Khalid Reeves has been compared to Walt Frazier as we see some more substitutions coming into the game. Mike McNulty checks in for Rob Burnside. There's Bob Oliva doing some shuffling with the lineup. Oh, what a play by Carl Beckett on the offensive rebound.
That was tremendous.
The crowd is lit up. Anderson makes the move, and that breaks a string of 13 straight points with Christ the King, and a score 36-18.
Well, he was finally able to give it up and get back a good pass so he could score. But this Beckett, that was incredible. He's going to St. John's next year. He's a real find.
Anderson gets hit and loses the ball inside. McNulty loses it, goes out of bounds, and it's Christ the King's ball. They'll inbound underneath their own hoop. Watch Beckett.
Oh, this is tremendous.
Come in and on the offensive rebound.
Unbelievable. That's just the lack of a box out by Casey.
Back to live action. Reeves called for a traveling, so Molloy will get the ball. 3:01 to play second quarter. 36-18. Christ the King in command. More full court pressure. There's Anderson.
He's got to take over no matter what it means.
11 points for Kenny Anderson. They've done a good job defensively. Made him work for everything he's gotten thus far. 11 of the 18 points.
Well, what Jack Curran was hoping for is that a couple of the other guys with Plain and O'Brien would hit some three-pointers and open things up, but it hasn't happened.
Slicing move is blocked, but also a foul against Sherwin-Content. Anderson will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Slicing moves from the senior guard.
This kid can do it all. He did it. That's the slide that only the great players can do.
Anderson this year will become the first player ever in New York City basketball history to become first-team All-City 4 straight years. No one's ever done that. In fact, the only two guys to make it 3 times were Lou Alcindor at Powell Memorial and Dean Meminger at Rice High School. Dean, of course, went on into the NBA also.
It's pretty good company. I guess Kenny's the only player ever to start from Molloy as a freshman, as a 9th grader.
36-19. The three-pointer is good and a foul. Three-pointer from Khalid Reeves. 39-19. Reeves doing it inside and outside, Barry.
This is the type of play we talked about earlier, Mike, where they'll stop and put up that three-pointer at any time.
Reeves now with 17 first-half points. That one in and out. Almost another turnover as Marion Jenkins, a 6'8.5" senior, has just checked in for Molloy. He picked up that last foul. Anderson, inside feed, and a foul against Beckett as Gislachik tried to go to the hoop. So that one point about Kenny Anderson, he became the first sub also to make first-team All-City. How about that? A 6th man making first-team All-City. But one thing, Barry, and Jack Curran, this was part of his deal when Anderson came in as a freshman. He never played a first quarter. He never entered a game until the second quarter, yet still made first-team All-City. That shows you how impressive. One of the reasons he had a lot of good seniors on that team. Plus, also, you want to keep the kid at an even keel. Right. And he never used to play or start in the first quarter. Only came on into the game into the second quarter, yet still made first-team All-City.
Well, I saw him play quite a few years up in my area in Glens Falls. And even when he was a young kid, he was a tremendous player. But he had one advantage. He played with a lot of good players. Even last year when Rob Wardan was playing, that helped Kenny. It was a good outlet for him. It took a little pressure off him. Now he doesn't have that.
Rob Wardan, of course, now at St. John's. He'll be playing with Carl Beckett of Christ the King next year. Faulkner from 3. It's long. Gislachik, good weak side rebound. Hands it to Anderson. McLean pulls up. Goaltending. Barry, you had that one called before the official. No question about that one.
That ball was hit about 2 feet over the rim. Yeah, definitely coming down. Good call.
2 minutes to play first half. 17-point lead. 39-22. Christ the King has been in control from the start. Looks like a little box and one here from Molloy on Reeves.
Now Reeves is playing the high post.
McNulty from 3. Gislachik, good rebound twice in a row now, going strong after those rebounds.
Good play, and they need it. Even the substitutes on Christ the King shoot three-pointers.
Christ the King back in there, 1-3-1. Just under a minute and a half to play, second quarter. A little less defensive pressure now. That's Slaczyk's looking to go in, didn't have the ball yet. Casey fakes, call for traveling. Good call from Rich Goggin.
Well, he was clearly intimidated. You can't hesitate in there. You've got to take it up quickly, especially against quick jumpers.
39-22, 17-point lead for Christ the King. Playing on their home court. They defeated Molloy, as we mentioned in December. That was at Molloy.
Well, they defeated him in primarily the same way. The pressure defense, and Molloy wasn't up to it.
And see here the official going in and saying that Molloy, because they're losing, have to force the action. Christ the King holding it out, wanting Molloy to get out of that zone defense. And because Molloy down, they've got to force the action. So the official making the call. Beautiful move by Faulkner.
Tremendous play. This kid,
so
they
quick.
say, is going to be a small forward at Pitt, but I wonder, I think he's able to play the 2 or 3 spot forward position.
Another steal. Reeves knocks it into McNulty's hands. And a 3-on-1. Reeves alley up for Faulkner. Comes down with it, but has it blocked by Casey. Faulkner loves to make the baseline moves. 10 seconds left, first half. Bart Pippen, guarded by Anderson. Baseline, knocked out of bounds. Christ the King holds on with 4 seconds and a 19-point lead. Jack Curran, obviously concerned. Pippen will inbound.
And he's hoping at halftime he can figure out a way to slow down this
McNulty, three-pointer. And the buzzer. A big first half, Barry Kramer, for Christ the King, no question about it.
Devastating first half. The pressure defense has so far done Molloy in, and they've got to somehow figure out how to counteract that and how to keep a guard back on defense to prevent the long pass and a layup.
They've got to also do it slowly. Can't make up 19 points in a hurry. They just got to come out and take it one possession at a time.
That's right, Mike. But 8-minute quarters, 16 minutes to go. It's a long time. It can be done.
So at halftime, the score, Christ the King 41, Archbishop Molloy 22. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
Look up, America, past Ford Taurus, to the car named Best Domestic Four-Door Sedan in America, Eagle Premier. More front head, shoulder, and leg room than Ford Taurus. A more aerodynamic shape and more horsepower than Taurus. Plus, Chrysler 770 protection, unmatched by Ford. And now, big cashback savings on Eagle Premier. Named Best Four-Door Sedan over Ford Taurus and every other American car tested. See your Tri-State Jeep Eagle dealer. Jeep Eagle, the newest division of Chrysler Corporation.
Want inside information on football?
I've been reading the sporting news for 12 years now, and when it comes to inside information, this is the next best thing to a coach's meeting. The sporting news, more football facts and stats than any other sports weekly.
Call 1-800-453-1905 and get 50 issues of the sporting news for 4 easy payments of just $7.47. Call now, 1-800-453-1905. That's 1-800-453-1905.
Where can you find cable TV's newest source for up-to-the-minute sports scores, fast-breaking sports news and highlights? The answer is Sports Channel America. Join Lee Seidman and Mike Breen every night of the week for Sports Nightly, before, during, and after each Sports Channel America primetime event. You get updates on the evening's major sports events, from the NHL to the NBA, college hoops, and more. Plus, get expert commentary from our in-studio guests. Sports Nightly is cable TV's newest source for sports news, and you'll find it only on Sports Channel America.
You'll be slamming and jamming with the tops in men's college hoops on Sports Channel America. Monday night, the Bird legacy continues. Eddie Bird leads the Indiana State invasion into Bulldog territory. Eric Berger counters with a three-point attack when Drake defends their home court. Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central on Sports Channel America. Monday, every hit, every shot, every save. With more games than ever before, watch the NHL's brightest stars shine.
We've done a real good job defensively. We obviously prepared to play. But we're talking 16 minutes. We're talking 16 minutes. And there's 16 minutes left. We got to pick now what's Molloy going to do. What do they have to do? Now, they got to trust it. They're going to have to come out out and make the ball to the basket. They've got to let Kenny dictate the flow of the offense. He's got to do more of a job offensively than he's done prior to this. And that's one thing we're going to do. So what we're going to do, Coach, is open up in number one. And we'll start with Derek. Just assign you. We'll put the lefty against the lefty for no other reason. We'll come back with our pitch. Jerry, you want to add something?
Yeah, when we're in the tree, like we were talking, right, they're not using the post. Right, they're not using the high post. So they put Kenny on the wing, McLean up top, and the other kid on the other wing. So if we do that, what we're looking like is almost like a diamond. We drop the Jamal, right? So if we're here, we got Bart or whoever. Remember, when you're three, you just shade the post, right? On the tree. 13 we're extending, right? Now what happens, there's nobody here, so we're dropping Jamal, and we got Robert in the back, right? So when the ball is being cornered, we're just using Jamal to come out. It's not a normal three for us, but it's been successful, okay? So let's continue to have the big guys out there. Because also what's happening is, even with Carl getting fouled at the end and Jamal getting the goaltending, they're not taking the ball to the hole, they're looking at the pool, so we're taking them right out of their game, okay? But just remember that whoever the five will be in the middle, he's going to go get the corner. And what's happening is we're allowing ourselves to keep to Kenny wherever he is. The weak side is not going to get back.
Carl Reuter back here at Christ the King High School. The score is Christ the King 41 and Archbishop Molloy 22. Now, to set the scene on Friday night, a big moment in New York State basketball history, Kenny Anderson broke the all-time New York State scoring record. Why don't we take you to the Holy Cross Gymnasium? And there is Anderson with the rebound. He spins out of the backcourt. Now, he goes down the lane where he was fouled. This was to break the record, the first of two. Anderson missed it, but the second one, oh, was he ever smooth as silk? Nothing but net, the New York State scoring record for Anderson. So Kenny Anderson now the all-time scorer in state's history, New York State, and that has come against national competition along with the New York City competition. And you see what he's done. He is now the all-time leading scorer in the state of New York. Now joining me here at halftime is Tom Konchalski. He is a high school basketball expert. He is also the editor and publisher of HSBI, a man who knows a lot about Ken Anderson.
Yes, Carl, I first saw Kenny when he was in the 6th grade, and he was a special player back then. He just has a sixth sense in the court, and he has great instincts for the game, and it's no surprise that he's had the fabulous career in high school that he's had.
What made you go out and look at a Ken Anderson in 6th grade?
Well, actually, I saw him in conjunction with the high school game. He played a preliminary, and then I had seen him at Jack Curran's camp the following summer. And he had a local reputation at that point, Carl, not the national reputation he enjoys now, but he had a local reputation then.
Tom, you've seen plenty of players in the country. Everybody says you might be the foremost expert on high school players. Is he the best in the country right now?
I'd say he's not only the best, Carl, he's the first, second, third, and fourth best in the senior class. I've been watching high school basketball for about 30 years, and he's the best guard I've ever seen in high school.
What does he have that others don't?
Well, two things. On the physical level, obviously quick feet, but he has great hands. His hands are like magnets that draw the ball to him. Very quick, very strong, and even more than that, he has tremendous mental reaction. His mind is a basketball computer that makes instantaneous reads of the floor.
Everybody had him programmed going to North Carolina. He's surprised by his move to Georgia Tech.
Somewhat, but I think Kenny wanted to go into a more wide-open game, and he wanted to make a decision himself, and he felt very comfortable with Bobby Cremins, who's a quintessential New Yorker. He just felt comfortable with him.
You know, we're talking about the number 3 team in the country, Christ the King. Number 1 by USA Today, of course, is St. Anthony's of Jersey City. Number 2, Miami Senior, who you saw both of those teams on Sports Channel. What are your impressions of those two teams?
Well, I'd say this, Carl. First of all, I wouldn't bet against St. Anthony's if they played the Lakers. They just have a tremendous will to win, and they'll scale the game down into the 50s or the 60s, whatever it takes to win. They won't turn the ball over. Molloy's turned the ball over a little too much today, even more so in their first encounter with Christ the King. But I'd say Christ the King is the most talented team, 1 through 8, that I've seen this year in the country, including Miami Senior, including St. Anthony's.
How would you rate this crop of basketball, high school level that we've had in the last 3 or 4 years?
Well, I think New York is experiencing somewhat of a renaissance. We were never really that far down, but the New York area last year in the final USA Today poll, Carl, had the #1 ranked Valentine, #2 ranked St. Anthony, #3 ranked team Archbishop Molloy in the United States, and that's not going to be much different in the next few years. We have some tremendous young players.
Does Tom Konchalski do a lot of traveling, or do you rely on a lot of people phoning in reports on certain players and videotape of watching players?
Well, I'm old-fashioned. I like to see the players myself, and I do a lot of traveling. I see a game every now and then.
And the best part about this guy is he just doesn't sit at the press table. He likes being up there in the bleachers amongst the fans.
Gives you a flavor of the game, the atmosphere of the crowd.
Your impressions of this first half?
Christ the King is just too tough. They started out with the 1-3-1, which I don't think they played a single possession of the first game against Molloy. With Derek Phelps in the point, they just have tremendous size. They had a couple of turnovers. Then they went to full court pressure. They caused a few more turnovers. They're just too good. They get second and third shots. That's what Molloy has got to do. They've got to take care of the ball, and they've got to keep them off the offensive glass.
We heard the Christ the King huddle in their locker room. If you're Jack Curran, what do? You're 31-year coach. You're trailing 19 points here to a team you lost by at your place by 15 earlier in the season.
I think what you've got to do, Carl, is you've got to score some off your defense. You've got to press them, which Molloy started doing. You've got to hope to get some turnovers and score some easy baskets. They're doing such a great job of helping on Kenny. I believe he shot 4 from 9 from the field in the first half. Obviously, they've got to get the ball into Kenny's hands, and they've got to score off their defense, and they've got to block out. They've got to stop at their end. They've given up 41 points in the first half, and what they've got to do is they've got to get scoring opportunities off their defense.
Tom Konchalski, thanks very much for coming by.
My pleasure, Carl.
All right, we are at halftime here at Christ the King. The score, Christ the King 41 and Archbishop Molloy 22. Break.
Trying to tighten that tummy, struggling with ordinary sit-ups? Now, work smarter with the Abdominizer, the intelligent alternative to sit-ups. Look, the Abdominizer targets the proper abdominal muscles, so each and every sit-up is made more effective. Safer, too. You can have a tonier tummy in weeks. Best of all, it's so simple. The unique rocker mechanism lets you rock your way to a firmer stomach. Look, ordinary sit-ups can torture your tailbone. It's not worth the pain.
I designed the Abdominizer to produce an automatic pelvic tilt, which better isolates the abdominal muscles and makes exercise safer for your lower back.
The curl works upper abdominals. Raise your knees and tighten lower abdominals, too. The Abdominizer, just $19.95. The intelligent alternative to sit-ups. Get smart. Call toll-free now.
To order your Abdominizer, call 1-800-225-5855. Use your credit card to avoid COD charges or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to Abdominizer, Department 390, Canton, Ohio. That's 1-800-225-5855.
Back here at Christ the King High School, I'm now joined by the athletic director here at Christ the King, Father John Savage. You've got to be very, very happy and pleased with that score.
Well, one might say we're a little surprised, but we're very pleased and very happy at this point.
You know, we talked about rankings. We talked about how successful the program is here at Christ the King, ranked #3 by USA Today. The boys have just been having a super season.
They have, but I think more important than that, they've been having a super personal season besides basketball. They've learned a lot from the trips we've made. They've learned a lot from working together with each other in the competition we play.
How is it dealing with the kids, 15, 16, 17-year-olds on a national level?
Well, I think we have to tell them what the rest of the United States is about. So what we try to do is we keep them thinking about other people, their customs, what they want to do, and we find out so much about them that it's really remarkable.
Now, you know, the boys aren't the only successful team here on the hardwood at Christ the King. The girls are the #1 team in New York State. Proud of that?
Oh, we sure are. They're undefeated at the present moment. They beat Bishop Kearney last night in a very tough ball game, and we're extremely happy and look for this very young team to keep going.
Your life has to be very easy here as an athletic director. I'm sure the phone, though, doesn't stop ringing.
It doesn't stop ringing, but we have super coaches, and that's what makes the difference, the people on our staff in all sports.
You know, you talked about the personal side of the kids on the team right now. You have a Khalid Reeves and a Jamal Faulkner and a Carl Beckett. Of course, Beckett going to St. John's, Faulkner to Pitt. And you might have, as a lot of people say, the best junior player in the country in Reeves.
I think Khalid is the best person I've met in a long time, but I think he's flanked by Derek Phelps, whom a lot of people forget as well, and Derek is an outstanding athlete. Between the two of them, they do an awful lot together to keep this team going.
You've had some great teams here over the years. Jason Williams, of course, Frankie Walker, just a couple of players that are now playing at college. Frankie Walker over at Hofstra, Jason Williams with St. John's. you've got a lot of good people coming out of this school.
We sure do. We also have Wendell Alexis. Now, let's not forget Wendell from Syracuse, and now he's in Italy playing. And he keeps in touch with us. We got a phone call the other day wishing us luck.
I was going to ask, when they do leave, do they stay in touch? Do they come back home?
Bobby had an alumni game last year, just to get together, and I think he had 49 alumni, and 48 of them showed up.
How much do you talk with a Bob Oliva during the course of the season? He's a very busy guy with a very busy schedule. Does he confer with you? Do you talk about the club?
I would say that everything that we do is done in conjunction with each other, except the coaching. He'll take the credit for the coaching. But in terms of the personalities and also the development of the players and what we try to do, Bobby and I talk all the time.
And, of course, Molloy, we shouldn't shortchange them, the number 13 team in the country, according to USA Today. I think part of this big crowd is a tribute to some great basketball.
This is the best thing that's happened to New York City basketball in an unbelievable amount of time. I think the city kid hasn't been noticed and given the proper credit, and this is really acclamation for all the young people who play basketball, boys and girls in New York City, and I hope it continues.
Father John Savage, thanks very much for coming on here at halftime.
Thanks a lot. It's a privilege to be here, and I hope we have more games on Sports Channel so everyone can see us play.
Father John Savage of Christ the King, the athletic director. Christ the King leads at 41-22 at the half. Now stay tuned. Mike and Barry will be back with all the second half action right after this. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
Look up, America, beyond Honda Civic, beyond Toyota Corolla, all the way up to the Summit, the new Eagle Summit, with more passenger room than either Civic or Corolla. Eagle Summit's base price beats them both, and Summit has 770 protection from Chrysler. The others don't even come close. Honda and Toyota have a long way to go to reach the Summit, but for you right now, a test drive is right nearby. See your tri-state Jeep Eagle dealer. Jeep Eagle, the newest division of Chrysler Corporation.
There really is cause to cheer for Bravo, and you're invited to enjoy our truly extraordinary films and specials. Discover the Bravo difference and rediscover what television was meant to be. Bravo, exciting, innovative, and extraordinarily entertaining. I love it. You will too. So watch cable TV that's really different. It's Bravo. Call your local cable company today.
The National Hockey League is speed, action, and excitement. And you've got a front row seat to this next exciting matchup. Tonight, in a Smythe Division matchup, hotshot goal scorer Joe Nieuwendyk and the Flames aim to continue their regular season domination over Barry Peterson and the Canucks in this battle of division rivals. It's Calgary versus Vancouver. Live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Sports Channel America. Tonight.
A 19-point lead for the third-ranked team in the country. The 13th-ranked team in the country, obviously down by 19. That's incredible when you think a team ranked 13th in the country has just been totally outplayed the way Molloy was outplayed in the first half.
Very difficult for the coaches, Mike. I think they really have to be amateur psychiatrists because Molloy, Jack Curran, really has to keep his kids up. He's got to keep their confidence level up so they can try to get back in this game slowly, if you will. And then on the other hand, Christ the King and Bob Oliva, he's got to prevent against overconfidence by his boys.
Now let's take a look at some of the first half stats. Christ the King getting an awful lot of high percentage shots, according to our statistician Hal Sass. 50% from the floor. Meanwhile, Molloy 40%. The key turnover, though, the 14 turnovers, or the key stat, the 14 turnovers for Molloy because of that defensive pressure.
Right, this is really a game where Molloy has the more experienced kids. Supposedly, that should be able to overcome the athleticism of Christ the King, but up to this point, it has not held true.
Individual scoring, Kenny Anderson with 12 points. He shot 4 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 3 three-pointers, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, and 2 rebounds. He has been double and triple teamed. Meanwhile, Casey had 4. As for Christ the King, Khalid Reeves, 17 first-half points, many of them off some of his defensive steals. Beckett had 9, and Faulkner had 7. As we're ready to start this second half, Barry Kramer, Jack Curran's got to have this team take it one possession at a time.
They really do. They've got to try to get the ball into Anderson's hands, but they've got to make good passes to him.
Here's one of the times they did get it to him.
And he knifed in there and scored.
But, of course, the steals for Christ the King, again, the story. And Carl Beckett had a terrific first half. He'll be playing for St. John's next year on the offensive glass.
Awesome dunk from the second position on the foul shot. Very unusual to see a player able to elevate with one step and dunk it like that.
Well, you look at the size matchups. You've got Anderson at 6'2" at one guard. Then you've got two other starters at 5'8", 6 foot, 6 foot. It's so hard to compare with Christ the King. They're two guards at 6'3", and not only 6'3", but 6'3" strong, strong kids. So that, I mean, they're a lot bigger team, and it's very tough, these matchups, especially with all this pressure.
Very tough. Molloy can't really see over the top with the small kids, and that's why so many passes are being deflected.
Christ the King will take over possession to start the third quarter. Khalid Reeves, Rob Burnside, Derek Phelps, Carl Beckett, and Jamal Faulkner starting. Ken Grislachik, Tom Casey, Kenny Anderson, John McClain, and Marion Jenkins to start off. Marion Jenkins, 6'8" senior. A little more height Jack Curran going with here in the third quarter as we open things up. Faulkner from three-pointer. But the offensive rebound again. They're getting constant second and third shots. Phelps misses. More work on the board. Beckett.
3 shots is too much.
Just cannot keep up. The much more physically strong Christ the King cannot keep them off the boards. 43-22, 21-point lead. That's the largest of the game. Phelps guarding Anderson.
I really believe that Molloy should have slowed the tempo of this game down. I don't think they could afford to get into a running game. I don't know whether it's too late now, but they've got to play a little slower tempo.
Phelps knocks it away. Molloy holds on. Molloy gets so many of their baskets off their defense. We've seen Christ the King do that, but that's usually Molloy's game. Anderson is usually with the steals, but he's been so dog, doubled, and triple teamed that it's been hard for him.
Well, he's the one kid for Molloy who has the quickness to do it. But for Molloy to press Christ the King with the personnel that I've seen in this first half, I don't think they can do it.
Anderson gets around the double team and scores. 14 now for Anderson. 43-24, 19-point lead for Christ the King. Opening minutes here in the third quarter. That's Burnside from 3. He might be the best stationary three-point shooter on the team.
Well, he's their 5th man, and he can stick it from three-point range, which shows you how awesome they are.
He's a senior. Bowling Green and Hofstra have been recruiting Rob Burnside pretty heavily.
Christ the King reminds me a lot of the Talentine team of last year with Malik Sealy. But I think they're better shooters than that Talentine team.
Grislachik and McClain work the give and go as McClain puts in the 2. 20-point lead, 46-26. Such balance on this team.
They really do.
Molloy in the zone down by 20, but they just can't stay up with them in the man-to-man, so Jack Curran's forced to go in the zone. We'll see if Christ the King does what they did in the second half or second quarter by holding things out. Three-pointer no good from Burnside.
Well, as we said earlier, Christ the King went out to the Midwest and won a big tournament in Missouri. That's incredible, playing in front of 9,000 people. 4 different times they've been on television. This is a seasoned team.
And Reeves had 101 points in the 3 games, so he's the MVP of that tournament. Grislachik misses. Faulkner, strong rebound, but Anderson takes it away and puts it in.
Great play by Kenny Anderson. The problem with that kind of defense is that you can pick up a lot of fouls reaching in all the time. But I was going to say that traveling, it's a kind of a double-edged sword. It's good because it gives the kids a lot of experience, but it can be bad because I think they're a little young to be moving around the country with all the pressures that are on them with school and all the rest. These are 15, 16, and 17-year-old kids.
They're leaving not happy with that turnover. Down the other end, Jenkins with a nice fake, but he's called for traveling. Jack Curran not happy with that call. Jenkins, 6'8.5", senior. Curran could use a little help. 46-28, 18-point lead for the Royals. Molloy stays in that zone. Beckett can't hold on, goes out of bounds, but it's off Molloy. See how strong Beckett is on that. 2 Molloy players had their hands on it, but Beckett still managed to grab it before it went out of bounds, but it's in Molloy play.
Powerful kid, powerful kid. It's a little strange that at this point Christ the King is slowing down the pace and really shortening the game. In the first half, they were putting it up very quickly on the offensive end.
46-28, 5:08 to play, third quarter. Third-ranked Christ the King. Of course, the rankings, no real official rankings in the high schools. USA Today has it come out every week. But they are ranked third, Christ the King, whereas Molloy 13. As we mentioned, Anderson does so much off his steals, has not had that many. There's one there.
He's got quick hands. He really is like a cat, offensively and defensively. He can score from either direction.
okay? With your
Jack
hands
Curran
your
in the
feet.
huddle.
You don't have to go a long ways, but you got to move them. Now, on offense, run your special and we'll get back in this thing. You understand? Just set good blocks, good screens, and come out and get the ball and look before you throw the pass. You hear? Okay? You just stay with him, Marion, because you're not going to try and throw him the ball. All right, go ahead. Come on, baby.
Well, Jack's been around a long time, and he's still optimistic. He's still saying, stay in your set pattern, which he calls his special, and they'll get back in it. And that's what you got to tell these kids at this stage.
Curran took over in 1958 as the basketball coach for a guy named Louis Carnesecca, who coached at Archbishop Molloy. Curran also doing it on the baseball end. We mentioned the National High School Coach of the Year for baseball. 14 city championships in baseball. He had 5 in basketball. But right now concerned with the hoops as his team still trailing by 18, third quarter here at Christ the King. Nice diagonal pass. They're playing inside. They recover so well defensively. Pass inside to Jenkins goes out of bounds.
Well, you heard Curran before the game, Mike, when he was asked how he anticipated his team would do tonight, and he said, well, they're kids, you never know, and I guess this is proof of it.
Anderson, good first step, banks it in.
Great play.
18 for Anderson. His high, he set a school record this year at 56 against Bishop Ford, but they've done a good job defensively here this afternoon.
And he's had many 40-point efforts as well.
Lead back down to 16. Anderson with a kick ball. Thought that he got it with the hand. The crowd doesn't like it. 46-30. Christ the King. The lead was up by as many as 22. Just under 4.5 to play third quarter. Faulkner grabs it with those soft hands. Doesn't go in. Casey knocks it out. But Burnside there. Nice move by Reeves. Phelps with the jumper. Weak side rebound, Beckett. Jump ball.
Oh, the jump. I think that Anderson maybe should get in there and try to rebound too, but right now he's playing more out on a wing, and he's not underneath when the shot goes up.
Jenkins put in there for some help on the boards, but Christ the King still having their way on the offensive glass. Break the press effectively there. From behind, a foul, and it's good. A two-pointer, not a three-pointer, and Anderson likes the way that's going.
I don't know whether or not he saw the defender behind him, but it sure didn't change his feel or his tempo on this shot, and he stayed with it and put it in, and has a chance for the three-pointer.
The old traditional three-point play.
Right.
Always have to clarify that after, of course, the rule change. 46-33, they cut it to 13, just under 4 to play in the third quarter. Little momentum here for the Stanners. Faulkner with the jumper.
Christ the King slowing down their pace a little may work against them.
9 points for Jamal Faulkner. Christ the King back in the man. Derek Phelps guarding Anderson. That's John McClain. There's Latchik. Reeves gets called for the foul, a little over aggressiveness. You know, it's tough, Barry. A team, you go up, you win by so many points, or you're up at halftime by so many points. A little bit of a letdown because you're so far out in front. The coach has to make sure he gets that intensity level up in the second half.
It is very difficult because youngsters kind of feel the game is over at halftime, and really we know it isn't.
Al Sasso, statistician, as Anderson goes to the hoop again, misses. That's the first miss of the third quarter. That was 4 of 5 for Anderson in this quarter. He's got 21 points overall on the break. Burnside finishes it off.
One of the things that Kenny Anderson does, he likes to penetrate. That's his #1 priority, but he's got to pull up and shoot that jumper a little more.
Oh, what a move from Anderson. Great balance in the air.
Great move.
23 for the senior. 50-35. Lead at 15, under 3 minutes to play. Third quarter. Khalid Reeves. A foul, and it counts. Jenkins hit him on the arm.
He can do it all. He's done it all against every team he's played against. Has not had a letdown this year, getting the MVP in the Missouri tournament. He's outplayed every guard he's played against in New York City.
Plays his best in the big games. And we have another traditional three-pointer. His change of speeds is phenomenal. He's got that explosive first step. He can lull you to sleep and then just explode by you.
Well, that's my favorite play, you know, and a lot of times people call that a leveling off of your dribble and that change of pace, and Anderson can do it as well.
Anderson trying to keep his team in the game. He goes against all four. Another beautiful move.
God.
And it's steal, Grzelacik. Anderson. Here comes the defense from Molloy.
What a change of direction Kenny put on that time to get the basket on the right side.
Lead now down to 14. It was 22 at one point here in the third. Thrown away, another turnover. The crowd, the Molloy side at least, starting to get into it. See Anderson doing it against four defenders.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 he beat.
2 minutes to play, third quarter, 53-39. Molloy trails by 14. But they've been impressive here in the third quarter. Casey comes out and helps. Nice give and go to Grzelacik, but Phelps with the impressive steal. Molloy fans wanted a foul. Faulkner lays it in.
We have so many weapons to beat you with. We haven't seen a lot of Derek Phelps, and there he made a great steal, and now Khalid comes back. Unbelievable.
Khalid Reeves says, wait a minute, stop talking about Anderson, I can play. The junior guard.
He showed a little hang time in that one.
27 points, Barry. 11 of 17 from the floor. Perfect in 3 tries from the free throw line. And the lead is back up to 18 all of a sudden. Beckett crashes again, looking for another one of those slams.
You know, Khalid does it inside, he does it outside, he does it off the defense. What more can you ask?
Bob Oliva likes that last set of circumstances. 57-39, minute and a half to play, third quarter. Christ the King regained some of that lead back. Reeves is now guarding Anderson. They've made a switch. Phelps having a little problem with him before. There's the matchup, Reeves and Anderson. Kenny shoots it, but is fouled. Reeves called on the shot.
You know, you hear a lot of people saying now that Khalid Reeves is a better ball player than Kenny Anderson. Not true. Kenny Anderson is playing with less quality players than Khalid is right now. We talked earlier, Mike, you put Kenny on this Christ the King team, my God, he'd score 60 a game. But he is truly a quick player. He's actually quicker than anybody on the floor, but you can't do it alone.
His moves are so effortless that it's a bit deceiving, especially, you know, watching on television. You see him in person, you really get to see how quick he really is. 57-41 hits both. Lead back to 18. Check that 16. Freshen up on the math a little bit. Just over a minute to play, third quarter. Christ the King wants Molloy out of his zone defense. What you need is to play ball, play within guarding distance so the official doesn't count off. Now, as long as you come out and play the ball, the official will let it go on. If Molloy sits back in the zone, then they've got the 5 seconds where they have to come out and attack and force the play, force the action. And Molloy doing that.
I don't blame Christ the King for doing this because Molloy is an explosive team, can come back at any time, and you're seeing it right now.
Beautiful balance again from Anderson. 57-43, lead back to 14. Reeves ahead, another turnover. Grzelacik. And a foul against Burnside. Gives Anderson a little tap. Impressive third quarter for the Stanners from Archbishop Molloy. First foul on Burnside.
These kids on Molloy are so focused on getting it back to Anderson. That time Anderson had 3 men on him. Grzelacik still tried to throw it through there.
Anderson huffing and puffing here. 16 seconds to play, third quarter. This would be a big hoop, bring him within 12.
Very big.
10 seconds. Anderson trying to do it himself. Fake. Nice balance. It doesn't go, but Burnside with another foul. 5 seconds left, third quarter. They have slowly gotten themselves back into this one.
He's beautiful to watch. Beautiful to watch. Burnside came to Kenny's left hand that time and really forced Kenny to go under him to shoot the ball, and he made a great shot.
Anderson will go to the free throw line. 31 points on the afternoon. 5 of 7 from the free throw line. can see him bending over. A little tired. He's had to do a little bit extra here in the third quarter.
Yeah, he's very tired.
Jack Curran says he can't imagine another kid handling the publicity and all the recognition as well as Anderson has.
He seems to be a quietly confident kid. Nice smile on his face, very personable. It's amazing that he's remained that way with all the accolades.
33 now for Anderson. Almost another steal. 3 seconds. Reeves heaves it. Faulkner has it knocked away, and a foul call at the buzzer. John McClain. And Faulkner will shoot 2 free throws. Official Rich Goggin right there. Looked to me like a pretty good call.
Well, it was a good call. I don't think they would have called it at Molloy, but it was a good call.
Tough call, no question, as Molloy had pulled to within 12. Faulkner, as we've mentioned, big guy, though, with a nice touch. His real soft hands.
Yeah, he gets within a 15-foot range, and you can see that he can really shoot it.
See the capacity crowd here at Christ the King. Hits them both. Big free throws. So at the end of 3 quarters, Christ the King leading Archbishop Molloy 59-45. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
The making of freeze-dried Taster's Choice coffee. Search the world for the finest coffee beans. Grind them. And at the peak of freshness, brew the richest, most aromatic coffee you can brew. Then freeze it. Freeze-drying locks in the fresh brewed aroma and flavor until you release it. For a truly superior cup of coffee, the choice for taste is Taster's Choice.
Taste it.
Isn't this romantic?
Kenny Anderson with 21 points in the third quarter alone as Molloy outscored them by 5.
Here comes Kenny down on the break. Little change of pace and takes it in anyway over 3 people and scores.
They've got one more quarter to try it. Molloy trailing by 14. Mike Breen and Barry Kramer here at Christ the King in Queens, New York. High school basketball here on Sports Channel. The third-ranked Christ the King Royals versus the 13th-ranked Archbishop Molloy Stanners. Looked like we'd see a blowout, but a big third quarter for Molloy has kept them in this, at least for now, in this game. But with that defense, you never can tell.
Well, Grislachik and McClain have played very well in the third quarter.
Pippen with the three-pointer. In and out, but Reeves is right there. Nobody boxing him out.
That's inexcusable at this point.
Back up to 16. Marion Jenkins. McClain, as you said, playing well here in the second half. We're always looking to double team him now. Reeves guarding him. Good defense from Pippen. He knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, and Jenkins has taken up some pretty good room in there. So there's 3 guys who are really helping Kenny Anderson out.
Molloy shot an incredible 82% from the floor in that third quarter. They're down again by 16, though. 7 minutes to play. Anderson drive, pulls up. A little longer. Grislachik keeps it alive. Anderson gets it again. Can't put it in, and Casey does. 6 points for Casey.
I love watching this matchup with Reeves against Anderson, though. It's so interesting.
61-47. They're really collapsing the zone and daring Pippen to put it up. Faulkner from 3. Casey can't hold on. It has been a rough afternoon.
Like he half-heartedly went after that ball.
He's tired, no question.
Rebounding is very important at this point. They can't give Christ the King second shots at all.
That's Derek Phelps, junior point guard. 6.5 to play, fourth quarter, 61-47. Christ the King by 14. Beckett posts himself down low. Blocked by Casey, but a foul.
I couldn't see it that well. Looked like a pretty good block from here.
The Beckett will go to the free throw line. That's the third foul on Casey. Beckett, Bob Oliva likes to call him the company man. Blue-collar worker, all the cliches. Probably has made the biggest sacrifice in his individual game for the betterment of the team as he misses the first free throw. He's averaging 11 points a game. On any other team, he'll be averaging over 20.
Well, it's really a tribute to Bob Oliva as the coach that he could put together 5 quality players with the ability they have to play together as a team. And they really play well together.
Beckett going to St. John's, as we said, he was accepted by the Naval Academy. Very good student here at Christ the King. Lead back up to 15, 62-47. 6:15 to play fourth quarter. Packing in the zone, or it looks like kind of a matchup zone, but Christ the King has been bearing up their defenses.
They're trying to go high-low. I think they have the right.
I think that third quarter took a lot out of them, Barry.
Probably did. Now's the time for more to go inside. I think they tried to go high-low that time, and I think it can work.
Reeves against 4 defenders. Can't get it to roll in. Gets his own rebound, though. Battle on the boards. Casey fights, and it goes off his hands.
That was a great effort, though, inside.
On the inbound, Derek Phelps, who's run the show very well from the point guard, holds on somehow, gets fouled as he puts up a wild shot. Tried to force things a little bit, but got lucky.
He did.
Another one who's been contacted by over 250 schools, only a junior. See him there. Good control that time, Barry.
Well, this is a great junior backcourt when you consider Phelps and Reeves together. Maybe the best junior backcourt in the country.
Fourth foul on Casey, by the way. Phelps, just to show you what he can do, Faulkner missed a game earlier in the season. Phelps picked up some of the scoring slack at 24.
Watching him today, there's no doubt that he can score 20, 25 a game anytime he wants. He's the kid who's the point guard who really sacrifices his scoring.
He's got 6, averages just over 9 a game. Lead back up to 17, 64-47. 5.5 to play, final quarter.
Grzlachik was free underneath. Nobody saw him.
That's Jenkins. McLean has not looked to shoot from the outside all that much. Almost a 5-second count. Jenkins, nice move, posts himself.
The zone has gone so far out on the perimeter that the inside is wide open. They've got to see it and get the ball inside.
Back to 15, first 2 points for Jenkins. Molloy staying in that zone. They just cannot play man-to-man against Christ the King. Reeves with a nice move to the hoop. Bats his own rebound. Faulkner gets it. Strong power move and a foul. It'll count.
Tremendous effort.
66-49, 17-point lead.
Tremendous rebound, and then the strength to take it to the hole and score. Outstanding.
And again, we've seen a lot of strength inside as we see Stephen Frazier checking into the game. As McLean will sit down. But as we mentioned, Faulkner can do it inside and outside.
He can. He's got the soft hands. He's a good shooter from the 15-foot range, but we saw a lot of strength on that move.
Back up to an 18-point lead. Molloy would need a miracle now. So they've got a guy who's performed a few of them in his 4 years.
He's just got to throw up a few three-pointers.
Casey, nice head fake, but is long in the jumper. Reeves gets the rebound. And again, they push it up the court. Off his own foot, Molloy controls.
Well, that was not a smart play by Reeves. Now, he knew that Anderson was chasing him, but I think it was more of a competitive thing. He wanted to take it all away.
Under 4.5, Anderson pulls up. His own rebound, but knocked out of his hand. Here's Phelps. Nice control. Good balance from the junior point guard. 8 for Phelps. Point lead once again for Christ the King. Grzlachik pressured inside. Molloy will hold on. What an impressive defensive performance. We've said it over and over again.
They are. Their hands are so quick.
Grzlachik misses a three-pointer, but Faulkner is trying to do a little fancy there. Lost it to Casey, and Casey puts it in.
I don't think it was a pass, but it worked out as such.
8 points for Casey. Just over 3.5 to play. 69-51, 18-point lead for Christ the King. Reeves on a baseline, blocked by Casey.
Great block.
Oh, and a move by Anderson. We'll get a foul call. Looked like either he was going to go for an offensive foul or a traveling, but somehow he controlled the ball.
No mortal could have done what he did there. Literally stopped on a dime. We're going to see it now. Kenny Anderson, man, planted right in front of him. He still is able to change direction, go behind his back, and beat it.
He is so smooth.
3 on Reeves.
It's another free throw. 69-52. 3:30. And another free throw for Anderson. A little more pressure now. Frazier guarding Pippen. Anderson, by the way, with 35 as Grzelacek called for the foul. With 3:22, 69-53. They've got to go back to the steal on just about every pass.
They do. I'd like to see Kenny Anderson go for it, start to throw up some three-pointers, and maybe Molloy put a little more defensive pressure out, extend it maybe 3/4 court. Make something happen.
Faulkner again from the free throw line. Very impressive foul shooter. He's 7 of 8 from the line, 17 points overall. And back up to 18. That's Frazier. Grzelacek gets it inside. Able to put it in.
He plays a lot bigger than he is. He's about 6'4". He really plays in there with the 6'7" guys. No.
Reeves again. There's that slow to fast movement. Fakes it. Blocked again by Casey. Fight for the ball. Alternate possession goes to Molloy.
Did you notice the strength of Reeves on that play?
He's got a pro body as a junior in high school. Really strong, solid.
He literally ripped the ball away from 3 other players.
Frazier feeds off to Jenkins, who can't control. Frazier gets it again. Off Faulkner's leg. So Molloy will get it out underneath.
Molloy kids are panicking a bit. They're not getting the ball into Kenny Anderson's hands, and this is really their only hope at this point.
Anderson pulls up.
Oh, yes.
At the two-pointer, Anderson now with 37. It's back to a 14-point lead with 2.5 left to play. They've got to make these points up in a hurry. Anderson with a big second half gets called for the foul. You'll see that they're going to go for the steals, make Christ the King hit some free throws for them to win this game.
Well, they might have to extend their pressure as well.
Jack Curran, I wonder if he's thinking yet. Still got a few games left for him, but it's not going to be the same watching Archbishop Molloy without that fella. The ACC fans are going to get an eyeful next couple of years.
Oh, it's going to be great. Bobby Kremen's a lucky man.
Bart Pippen hits the free throw. 5 for Pippen. 5'8" senior guard. Done a nice job coming off the bench. This one out. But again, more offensive rebounder, but Casey does get it. Anderson. 4 guys around. A little too much dribbling that time. Finds Frazier. Baseline move. Pretty move for Frazier. Good move. Only a sophomore. First 2 points for Frazier. They say he's going to be the next big-time player here at Molloy.
Yeah, he may be the heir apparent to Kenny Anderson. He's a sophomore, and he's a good one.
13-point lead, 72-59. Going for the steal and a foul once again against Anderson. A minute 49 to play. Jason Williams, of course, one of Bob Oliva's special former Christ the King players, now with St. John's.
Right, one of the more famous, and he's a good one, a real good one, playing over there with Rob Bourdain this year.
Bob Oliva. This Wendell Alexis, another one of his big stars. Played for Syracuse. Phelps at the line. Good free throw shooting team. They all have such nice touches.
Well, when you can shoot from 3-point range, you certainly can shoot from 15, and they show it.
9 points for Phelps. Perfect in 3 attempts thus far at the line. 74-59, 15-point lead. Under 2 minutes to play. Bart Pippin is now guarding Anderson. This one, he just kind of wind down. Molloy not giving up. Jenkins misses. Goes off, I believe, Beckett. So Molloy will hold on. And there's Rob Bourdain, a former Molloy player. Happens to be Jason Williams' teammate with the Redmen.
All right, he and Malik Seeley are going to really, they're going to really be great before their careers are ended at St. John's. Both great high school players, great All-Americans, now just freshmen.
He's had 8 consensus All-Americans, including Kevin Joyce, Brian Winters, Kenny Smith.
And a guy played against Donnie Burks.
That's right. Pippin. Nice move to the hoop from Pippin. Old 5'8" fella challenging the big men, and it's 76-59. Anderson for 3. Outlet from Beckett to Phelps. To Reeves. Faulkner.
That was phenomenal. What an unselfish play by Khalid.
I'm impressed he didn't try and do the flashy slam, just took it and put the points in. As Anderson puts it in, and is fouled by Reeves. But a little too late for Molloy. We're under a minute, 78-61.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see a little showtime from... There's Anderson, him down the middle.
Those mitts are like magnets.
He's got great hands.
39 points for Anderson. Has a chance to hit the 40 mark once again. He has such control of every part of his body.
Well, you got to hand it to him. They really double and triple teamed him all night. His teammates really didn't help him a considerable part of the game. Bad passes, and he still gets 39 or more.
That one rolls out. Faulkner gets fouled on the rebound. They'll go down the other end and shoot. Molloy in the bonus. Some more substitutions. Sherwood Content comes in for Carl Beckett. Terrific afternoon from Carl Beckett. Where Faulkner and Reeves get all the publicity, but Beckett, he's the perfect complement player.
He is. He's as good as anybody.
Big East fans will watch him at St. John's next year. As will they watch Faulkner at Pitt. Faulkner hits another free throw. 20 points for Faulkner.
Beckett may become that 6'4", 6'5" swingman at St. John's.
Tom Long checks in for Tom Casey. Casey played tough. A lot of block shots. Had his hands full on the boards. Got a little bit of foul trouble also. Faulkner again from the line. This one out. Look at Christ the King, not giving up on the boards. 54 seconds. 79-61. Frazier has it partially hit. Anderson almost steals it, but Reeves will bring it down. Content, blocked by Jenkins.
You know, Frazier and Jenkins have played well for Molloy in the second half. I was surprised that they didn't play a little more in the first half because that lead was almost insurmountable.
That's Turner liking to go with the seniors. Frazier, only a sophomore.
He's got quickness, though, and his quickness could have combated this pressure a little more.
79-61, 33 seconds left in this one. Christ the King just letting this one finish up. You see Gary Nolan, who's just checked in. 5'11" senior, number 12 with the ball, is fouled by Anderson.
He won't give up.
More substitutions. Jamal Faulkner will sit down. Terrific performance from Faulkner as John Hospodaric checks in. Faulkner with 20 points. He'll be going up against his man Beckett in the Big East. You see also when Eric Nelman comes in for Phelps. And in subs for Molloy, Zlotchik comes out, and Cosgrove checks back in the game. Cosgrove is 6'8" junior.
It's a tough loss for Molloy. Kids are taught never to give up. And, you know, you have an 18-point deficit at this point. What do? You keep trying until the buzzer, until the final buzzer, despite the fact you know you can't pull it out.
And Jack Curran knows, I mean, Christ the King is just, they're as impressive a high school team as I've seen in a long time. Frazier misses them at St. Anthony's of Jersey City, which we saw on Sports Channel a couple of weeks ago, and we'll see again. Just two great teams. Content catches the pass, but then loses control as Anderson knocked it out of his hands. With 5 seconds to go, Christ the King with one more shot at the hoop. Sherwin Content, only a junior, 6'6". McNulty will throw up a three-pointer. And Anderson heaves it, and that'll do it. very impressive victory as Bob Oliva and Jack Curran meet at half court. Christ the King, ranked 3rd in the nation, shows everybody why. Impressive victory on their home court against 13th ranked Archbishop Molloy. The final, Christ the King 79, Archbishop Molloy 61. We'll have lots more post-game for you. You're watching high school basketball on Sports Channel America.
Man's ultimate adventure, to journey through the universe, to step off the earth for the very first time. The Eastern Press is proud to present America's Achievements in Space, the first of its kind video cassette library of official NASA films, capturing the most dramatic moments in our quest to explore the universe. Relive the excitement of America's conquest of space, the drama and triumph of every major mission recorded for history and for you by NASA. The collection, 10 90-minute cassettes in all, is sure to become a family heirloom. There's John Glenn's Lost 4 Minutes in Space, and America's first spacewalk.
Okay, I'm out. Okay, now.
And who will forget America's proudest moment?
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Now you and your children have the opportunity to own this piece of history, a beautiful and comprehensive collection of the official films recorded by NASA and the astronauts themselves. Each cassette comes with a mission summary describing the astronauts, the spacecraft, and the mission objectives, all enclosed in an attractive library case. These cassettes are not available in stores. To order your collection, simply call 1-800-446-1445. You pay for just 1 cassette a month, only $29.95. Use your credit card to save COD charges. Relive with your family 25 years of achievement. Events so important, former astronaut James Lovell introduces each cassette, and special guests such as Orson Welles, E.G. Marshall, and Carl Sagan guide you through the missions as they unfold. Subscribe now, and you'll also receive free these 4 full-color prints. Your satisfaction is guaranteed by the Eastern Press. Be an eyewitness to the greatest American adventure of all time. Call 1-800-446-1445.
Back here at Christ the King High School, big win for Bob Oliva's club, number 3 according to USA Today, 79-61. Got to ask you a question. They came out with intensity and composure again in the second half. Took it right to them despite the 19-point lead.
They sure did. We really played well today. Like you said, our intensity level was high. We knew it was a big game. You know, we've been playing all over the country in the last few months, but this is the game. Molloy, a league game at home in front of our hometown fans. You know, we're really up for the game. There's no doubt about it.
You know, a lot of people talked about this game against Molloy, but a lot of people overlooked that it was a league game.
Sure is. We certainly didn't. And the fans of Queens and New York City basketball know it's one of the best rivalries in high school basketball in the city, without a doubt. Probably the best in the Catholic High School League right now in Brooklyn, Queens.
I stay right here. I want to talk with the big guy here who's going to pitch. Jamal Faulkner, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Second time you beat him this year. Commanding score. Second time you've won by the big margin.
Well, I thought we did a good job. Khaled Reeves played well again, as usual. I don't think it's, what can I say? I'm ecstatic about winning for the second time this year, and I hope to beat them a third time in the CHSAA championship game, hopefully.
Jamal, why the big, wide margin of victory twice this year against this great Molloy club?
Well, our defense was intense. We threw the 21, the 23, the 13, all the presses we worked on in practice. And once we start running and get intense, no team in the country could really deal with our defense when everybody worked together.
Listen, you've got a couple more games left on the high school schedule this year. Good luck at the University of Pittsburgh.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, Bobby, let me ask you one quick question about Kenny Anderson. He did a job today. He snakes his way through the paint. I don't think there's a way of stopping him, is there?
He does a job every day. He's incredible. He's the best player I've ever seen. I've said it time and time again that we have some pretty good ones here. But Kenny's just an unbelievable player, and we're just fortunate that he missed a few shots today. That, you know, he couldn't score the ball every time he touched it. But let's give some credit to Derek and Carl Khalid. You know, both of them played him real tough, and you know, we tried to put two people on him whenever we couldn't get Derek and Khalid. We tried to zone him as much as we could, but we were aware of him. And Kenny's, there's nothing else to throw at this to deal with Kenny.
You know what the funny thing is? The other day when I talked to him on the telephone, I said, Bob Oliva, after you talk about Kenny Anderson, who do you worry about next? And he says, Kenny Anderson, and then Kenny Anderson.
That's for sure. Now, not to take anything away from their other players. They have some good players there, but Kenny does so much. I mean, he tries to do it, and he usually succeeds. I've seen him win so many games and lose so few over the last 4 years. I'm just happy to see him go to Georgia Tech. He would go tomorrow.
Great win for you, Bob Oliva. Thanks for coming on here post-game.
Thank you very much.
All right, Bob Oliva, coach of Christ the King. Of course, earlier we had Jamal Faulkner. Now let's go over to the table. Final word from Mike Breen and Barry Kramer.
All right, thank you, Carl. You know, Oliva said one time that he said if we stopped the basketball game and decided to play handball, Kenny would be best at that too.
Well, Kenny is a tremendous player, and Bob recognized it. He's awesome, best player perhaps in the country, and I don't compare him to other big men because the big guys, forget about them. Kenny Anderson can do it all at 6'2".
Anderson with 39 points led all scorers. Many of them was in the second half. He was just phenomenal in the second half. 39 to lead Molloy. Meanwhile, Casey had 8, and Kozlachik with 5 points. For Christ the King, as we mentioned, Khalid Reeves doing it 24 points, but his real key was the defensive pressure, all the steals that he forced.
Well, the defense really creates offense for that team, but what impressed me most about Khalid Reeves is his consistency. Every game this year he has come through. He's come through against the best competition throughout the country. He did it here in a tremendous rivalry against the greatest guard in the country in a league game, and again he came through. The pressure doesn't bother this kid.
And Faulkner with 20 points and Beckett with 12. For the fans that never saw Kenny Anderson, a rough game in terms of the outcome, but they really got to see what he's capable of doing on the court. And you put him in a situation like at Georgia Tech when he's going to have other All-Americans with him. Awesome.
He's going to be. He really played today 1-on-5, yet 1-on-5 he snaked through. He still scored. Nobody can do that. He's a rare kid.
All right, for Christ the King, perhaps in terms of talent, the most talented team. We've seen St. Anthony. St. Anthony's well coached from Bobby Hurley Sr. They're a fine club, but it's hard to imagine another high school team having more talent than Christ the King.
I agree, Mike. I think Christ the King can hang with anybody. I'd love to see that game against St. Anthony's. I think they've proven they can play the best teams in the country, and they proved it again here today by beating the 13th ranked team in the country, Archbishop Molloy.
And once again, our final score, 79-61. Christ the King defeating Archbishop Molloy, the final, an 18-point margin. Remember, tonight on Sports Channel America, Joe Newendike and the Calgary Flames battle their Smythe Division foes, the Vancouver Canucks, at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. On this Tuesday, Matt Snaslin and the Montreal Canadiens face off against superstar Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Catch these two great matchups right here on Sports Channel America. This is Mike Breen for Barry Kramer and Carl Reuter saying so long until next time. You've been watching high school basketball right here on Sports Channel America.
Time. You never kept me waiting when you were kids.
There's an animal in the kitchen.
Hey! Sugar Bear! Bearing bowls and a soup.